Hero in almost 60 seconds, Archimatos. What would the chaos be without using the powers of the warp for the greater good? I mean, horrible shenanigans of all sorts. And what better shenanigans are there than drowning your foes in waves upon waves of immaterial bodies with an attitude, like Archimatos does? But does that work in Tacticus? Come find out. Much like his namesake in real life, Arch is the object of some controversy and is capable of turning perfectly normal and boring guardsmen into awesome and spicy cornate diamonds with but a few words, and a well-placed psychic blast. Archimatos' active ability lets him summon up to 3 bloodletters, increased by +1 per each rarity tier, for a final maximum of 7 at legendary, in hexes adjacent to his target, whom they immediately attack. The bloodletters, or bloodies for short, are rather squishy, but have a decent attack value and 1-hit piercing type melee attack, and they gain +1 hit when they are attacking a psyker, and a +1 hit when they have moved to their target before the attack. These two can stack for a total of 3 hits against a psyker the bloody has moved to, but summoning them does not count as them moving to the target. Archimatos' passive ability makes him summon a bloodletter in place of every enemy he has killed. He just loves having a large audience. Archimatos has a mobility of 3 and a 2 range, 1-hit attack, 100% pierce, psychic type, for a standard reach of 5. His melee attack is 2-hit psychic. His attack stat is kind of low compared to other low-hit heroes to compensate for it being 100% pierce and unblockable though, but he does hit fairly hard in melee. Archimatos is rather squishy with low HP and low armor, and his equipped set of weapon, a block item and a crit booster doesn't help much with that. He survives by putting bodies on the field for his enemies to hit instead of himself. Archimatos only has 2 traits. The All-Black Legion let the galaxy burn for a 50% chance for an extra hit, randomly aimed at either his target or any non-chaos unit adjacent to it, allies included, and Psyker, which causes his ranged attacks to also smite into a secondary target adjacent to his primary one for 50% of his attack. The traits synergize with each other, and the smite can trigger an LTGB hit of its own, on top of the one triggered by the primary attack, so Arch can hit, and kill and spawn a bloody from, up to 4 different units in one turn, if you aim him at a properly big cluster of enemies. Archimatos is one of the most versatile heroes in the game. He is invaluable in the Kaja campaign, where his summons counteract the Voxcaster's reinforcements and provide dummy targets for everything. Since the bloodies are squishy and the AI of most units prioritizes kills, they will be taking hits first. He can easily do the same against many raid bosses, especially the Hive Tyrant and Tervigon, especially for a beginning tactician or one that is underpowered for the boss. Multi-hex targets allow for spawning all 7 bloodletters, giving you extra hits for Eldrian to buff, extra targets for the boss to go through, and extra attacks against Rotbone and Gibboscraps, or Neurothrope in a pinch, to trigger their bonus damage mechanics and prevent them from moving to a less vulnerable hex. Although you may not want to do that against Mortarion or Karen the Screamer until the very last turn of the battle. Many of the previous points apply to PvP as well, but there is another, extra special move you can use there, and that is shutting down Revas's, or anybody else's when positioning allows, ranged overwatch by either destroying her drone from a safe distance and replacing it with a bloody, or by summoning bloodies against a drone and having one spawn on a hex that is also adjacent to Revas. This needs a little luck, especially if your bloodies one-shot the drone. And of course Arc summons will distract enemies in the long modes, Onslaught, Legendary Release event stages, which is invaluable for Chaos teams, who don't get a healer unless you got lucky or spendy enough to get Rotbone, although the grindable Thousand Suns help with that, but that is a topic for another time. Choose your targets well to make as many bloodies as safely as you can there, and pair him up with Abraxas, Abaddon or even Pestilion, or any other applicable buffers of course, to maximize the kills he produces. TLDR, Arc good, build him. Phew, this didn't feel like a minute at all. I guess time really does fly when you're having fun. Thank you for watching and I hope you'll stop by again, Tactician. If you made it all the way here, I have a special announcement to make. Our guild, Bladesong, currently, as of the 12th of December 2023, has an open spot for a dedicated tactician, ideally around or above power level 30. We are a casualish guild ranked around 180th place on the leaderboard. Spending money on the game is not mandatory with us, but diligent growth is highly encouraged. Find me on Discord, in the game's official Discord server, and message me for more information if your desire to know intensified.